Now I'm switching over to the component part of the geoinformatics, and I'm starting with the remote sensing. That what the remote sensing is and how it is, what the science is, and uh, how the technology help us in capturing the data for various civil engineering purposes. So remote sensing, we are starting here. This is just a comparison over remote sensing versus, this is just one comparison of remote sensing versus GIS you see here. That the remote sensing images, if you look at how to understand, forget it at percent, just look at these two, that this is something meaningful, looking like an island, a piece of land where there are trees and buildings and something statue like this. So you look at this is a meaningful, you could deduce some information looking at this. But here in remote sensing, this image, it's difficult for you, a person, to deduce what it is. The conversion of this into meaningful. So remote sensing images are not meaningful. You can't take direct decisions on it. We have to make it meaningful. So processing is needed. In the GIS, visualization is good. We deal with mostly end products, end maps for processing of the projects. Now, what the remote sensing is, mostly I ask when in teaching classroom, then a student should explain me what they understand about the remote sensing. There is a quite good understanding among you that what the remote sensing is. The meaning of the remote sensing, remote and sensing. Remote means from a distance, and sensing means to capture, to have, acquire something. So that is what is the remote sensing. The first definition you read, you will find in every book. I show you the book. You should read in. I show you. I think this is visible to you people, and if it is not visible, please do write in the chat box so that I could understand something is going wrong. This is a remote sensing. The Oxford publication amount is not that big. 400, 500 rupees, the latest edition, and the author is B. Bhatta. B. Bhatta. It covers all three parts, that remote sensing, GIS, and also there is a chapter of GPS in this book. This book I am going through since last 6, 7 years, and the latest book is around 450 or 460 rupees. So you could purchase a very good compilation of technological aspects in this book. So you read this book or any other book, you will find that remote sensing is defined primarily in this manner, that remote sensing is the collection of information about object without being in direct physical contact with the object. The first definition, if you look at from read here to here, then what it really conveys you, that we capture objects here. This is very technical term, object. You need to understand what the object is. Remote sensing is collection of information about an object without being in direct physical contact with the object. So object here is earth surface features. Like your house is an object, your car, your bike standing outside onto the street, that is an object. A tree is an object. Electric poles are object. Road is an object in remote sensing. So whatever you look at, if you look at visualize, if you throw your glance onto the earth surface, whatever is there onto the surface, you could consider that a piece or an object. And if we capture information about that information about that object without being in touch, when we are doing theodolite, we are not touching object. We bisect it and we take the staff reading. But we are very near, we almost in the contact. But in remote sensing, we capture it from the distance. Like our eyes capture 2, 3 kilometers or say 10 kilometers, we capture certain things. and we process that knowledge in our brain. And likewise, in remote sensing, what is done? The remote sensing sensors, the satellites, they capture the image. So onto the left of this screen, kind of thing is shown to you that this is Earth surface. And what is done? The satellite rovering or moving around in the orbit of this Earth is continuously capturing the information. How it captures is a different technology, a different science in that it is sending a certain kind of radiation here. Sometimes electromagnetic radiation, it sends the satellite through, emits the radiation which strike upon the Earth's surface objects. The objects are many times called features. In GIS, they are also considered as entity. So when object is called, it's a very general term you remember. When features, then you say this is green here. You look at green here, so you could say this is a forest area. If you look at this blue earth globe, then you could see the oceans, the water part of the earth. So everything, these are very large clubbing of the things, but we could go look into minute details of the surface through remote sensing. So remote sensing means this satellite capturing information on this Earth surface through certain system, and this system is a system of energy. Now we are exploring that what is the process of this capture, that how it captures. So the energy which is being transmitted by this sensor, by this satellite, strikes onto the Earth's surface. It scatters and reflects, which gets reflected and reaching back to these sensors is captured. One thing. The second thing, the energy emitted by the sun also emit electromagnetic radiation. You might have seen the electromagnetic spectrum in class 12 physics. So electromagnetic spectrum is one of the important aspects of remote sensing that enabled the earlier remote sensing. Nowadays, we have our own energy systems. Onto this satellite, we could emit energy which strike here onto the surface. It rebounds and goes back into the satellite. So when when it strikes big, it captures, and the capture energy with the different intensity. These objects on the Earth's surface reflect energy with different, not in the same quantity. Different objects reflect different amount of energy. So that energy captured at the sensors determine that which object is reflecting the emitted energy or the sun's energy. So here, the second definition given by the Dr. Short, here you look at the remote sensing is technology for sampling electromagnetic radiation to acquire and interpret non-immediate geospatial data from which to extract information about features. I mentioned this, objects, classes, means classes are nothing but a set of features, or objects are called class. Class means this is, we are putting something 12 things into a box. So class means a combination of features or objects. On the Earth's land surface, oceans and atmosphere even is being captured. So that is what is important here, that we are capturing here the whole Earth surface, including oceans, and between atmosphere, between the satellite sensor and Earth surface, that information, that phenomena, that environment is also captured. So that is the second definition you could look at here. I go to the next slide to make it more easy. We will now explore these things into detail. Is it visible? Somebody should write in their chat box. This slide is visible to you? Okay, thank you. And now, elements involved in remote sensing, every book, every page, every internet, if you do Google, then you will find, you write what is the remote sensing system or elements of remote sensing, you will get this kind of sketch. Better you draw, understand it, uh, uh, that how the things are really getting processed. Uh, First, you look at this diagram to get understanding of remote sensing. And this is very simplified view of remote sensing. Very simplified, where a sun as a source of electromagnetic radiation is shown over here. Uh, the sun is considered. Now, the thing is, I repeat, that the sun is taken as a source of electromagnetic radiation. So it emits its energy, electromagnetic energy. And electromagnetic energy, when it emits, it moves in space and then in our atmosphere and it falls onto the Earth's surface. This is Earth's surface where we are located now, or there are certain forest or some ocean. So this energy fall on each and every object on the earth surface during daytime, the direct energy, and during night time it's a kind of lesser energy, not that much intense. So there are remote sensing hiccups that the energy which is falling onto the object emits differently during different timings, 1 to 24 hours of the day. So intensity of sunlight describe or define the incoming radiation into the sensor. So after striking, what happens that if we study the propagation of energy in the atmosphere, it strikes some of the energy getting absorbed here in the process here in the atmosphere. Rest of the energy coming down here. Then there are many things happen, that scattering is being refraction of the energy. So which component we are interested, the part which getting reflected. So different bodies, different objects reflect differently. Say we also understand the concept of black body, which emits 100% light, reflects black, the 100% light. Now, the reflection going here onto D. What is D here? The recording of energy by the sensor. Onto the left, you see D is what? The recording of energy by the sensor. A is what? Energy source of illumination. In simple, it's the sun for us. The B is the atmosphere or space in between sun and the earth surface. Interaction with the object. See different objects. There are thousands of objects on the surface, and the object is onto the sea. Recording, after reflection, energy is going back into the atmosphere. Some of the energy is going in this direction where our the recorder, the sensor is located, or you can say satellite is moving in the orbit. Are you getting? This energy is not getting reflected only in this direction. Part of that energy is getting reflected in this direction, only part of that energy. Rest of the energy is getting reflected in other direction also, this direction, and which won't be captured by this sensor. This sensor is having limitation, that energy coming in its back, uh, its this whole sensor's capacity, it captures only that much energy. So recording is done through this here. And now the transmission, reception, and processing. Transmission, reception, and processing. Here, from here, it is going to E, or here, and coming back to this and taken to F and taken to G. What these are? E, F, G. Look at transmission, reception, and processing is done here. The data is coming directly from the sensor to the earth station, or it is taken to some radar or some orbital other object in the space and then is taken to the Earth surface. So it can be a direct move here or an indirect move to the Earth station. So this is Earth station where processing is done. Then the 6F is here. F here is the interpretation and analysis. Analysis, I said that remote sensing software we do. There are remote sensing agencies. There are remote sensing centers created. Like Dehradun is one of the important center in remote sensing. Hyderabad, there is Indian Remote Sensing Society, Indian Remote Sensing Agency, and there are many other remote sensing units of ISRO as well. So they all deal with this captured data, they process data, they interpret data. So here the processing is done for different purpose, the purpose for which we are interested in. कि किस में इसको प्रोसेस करना है वो उसकी टाइप से प्रोसेसिंग होता है और लास्ट में सेवेंथ इज जी that we are putting that to real use to real application. So these are the different, sometimes you could call it elements of remote sensing, or you could say this is a system of remote sensing, or you could even call it the energy flow in the remote sensing system, the energy movement. Now, the second thing I want to clarify here is that here source is sun. So if source in the remote sensing system is sun, that this is not our system which is illuminating the object onto the earth surface. This is not our source. This is natural source which is illuminating object on the earth surface. So this kind of remote sensing is called passive remote sensing. You should keep this term in your mind. There is always a question in our university examination that passive remote sensing explain active remote sensing. So students generally commit the mistake in explaining active remote sensing and passive remote sensing. If this question is of 4 marks, then you should explain it in a better manner rather than writing that if sun is source of energy, then it is passive energy. And if the illumination is done by the the source of energy is artificial, like that is located onto our satellite D here, the energy is falling onto the Earth surface and going back to the satellite or sensor directly. The satellite is also source of energy, and sensors capturing which are also located onto the satellites. So in that case, this is called a active. So all the radars are having that active system of energy. They emit energy, they capture energy. So both systems are located on the radar. So that kind of we'll see in detail on the later slides that how best active system works. This is my explanation for the passive remote sensing system. Now, this EM spectrum is shown to you. And this is the energy, sun's energy. In the previous slide, I have shown you the sun. Here, this is the source of energy which illuminates the object here. Now, this is energy moving here, but this energy is not constant. This energy is not constant, not uniform. This is having different intensity, which you studied in class 12, that this EM, electromagnetic spectrum, is not a simple one energy. It's a kind of different set of energy, and there many times we study as Vibgyor, the different colors, and we see the light as colorless. If there are like absorption of one band out of this Vibgyor, then the different light would appear to our eyes. So today we will study this electromagnetic spectrum beyond visual range, beyond our visual range. Out of this spectrum, electromagnetic spectrum, our eyes work in a very short energy span that is called visual, and visual is somewhere here. You look at here, this is visible to us, this visible to us. I think you are comfortable with this kind of set of the visible. Then onto this, if you go, uh, there are ultraviolet rays, and then there are many other kind of rays which are having uh, different frequencies and wavelengths. Uh, these are the meters, wavelengths mentioned on the top. You could also understand with certain kind of frequency to understand this spectrum. Now, you could convert always frequency into wavelength and wavelength into frequency. So mostly when we are dealing in remote sensing, we deal with wavelengths, and micrometers are here. So beyond the visible, what we are that infrared, thermal infrared, and then these are the microwave. Microwave is like when one micrometer and lesser than that. This is microwave. This is microwave energy. You look at it. Now, here in the visible, there are many subdivisions. We call them bands. So our sensor, which capture the energy on board the satellite, they do not capture whole of the reflected energy. This energy, which is not useful, we can't make any interpretation, and if it is reflected by the object, then we are not interested in that reflected energy. So we are interested in reflected energy in this range, say microwave bands. These are different bands of microwave, and these are different bands visible here within visible, and this is thermal and infrared. Mostly the remote sensing is carried out in these areas of the electromagnetic spectrum, or you can say out of the total energy emitted by the sun, this much energy is sufficient. And the second deduction you could do is that when you create your own source of energy, why not generate energy in these bands only, having this much of wavelength or this much of frequency? Why to generate energy of in all uh, bands and all frequencies? That is not required. So mostly when we are doing the active remote sensing, when we generate our sensor, we generate energy in these bands, microwave bands. This energy is most useful, effective in remote sensing. Why? Will take later, that I will explain that this energy is very much useful, and this kind of remote sensing is called microwave remote sensing. And this visible is also useful, mid infrared and thermal infrared is also useful. Now coming to the lower part of this spectrum, you look at this. These are the wavelength here mentioned, right? Starting from zero point 0.2 micrometer to 1 meter. Are you okay with this? This is my last slide today. I am going to leave it, conclude on to this only. Sorry. Sorry. I won't take further slides. Okay. So this is written here, quiz. So all the students, you are supposed to understand this spectrum, what I'm explaining to you. You understand it, you explore on Google or somewhere in your books if you have. I have shared one GIS book with you. I also shared one manual yesterday for the practical. So you will find that electromagnetic spectrum in energy and its sequencing and usefulness in remote sensing is mentioned in all through the documents. Rest of the things you could do Google. Otherwise, you could understand from the book of your 12th standard if you have physics book with you. And if it is not, this is available on Google. You could download the EM spectrum easily. There are thousands of EM spectrums available. Whatever you like, you download and understand it with respect to remote sensing. Understanding of electromagnetic spectrum with respect to remote sensing is important. Now look at this. The second part of the EM spectrum is this. This is the first part which we have seen, that the energy is compiled of different bands over here. And the second part is here, that wavelength, and what is here? Atmospheric transmission. Are you getting this? Atmospheric transmission. In previous slide, I have mentioned that the sun emits energy, it passes through the atmosphere, then it falls onto the object. Now, before falling onto the object, it passes through the atmosphere. So while passing through the atmosphere, what happens, that atmosphere absorb much of its energy in different bands, but certain bands, they are like do not allow absorption of energy, and those bands really fall onto the object. Like the atmospheric transmission percentage here, you look at here, 0 to 0.2 micrometer, there is no 100% absorption. There is no transmission. This is transmission. Now 0.2 micrometer, here the transmission means सारी एनर्जी पास होके ऑब्जेक्ट तक आ जाएगी. तो 0.2 से लेके यहाँ पे विजिबल रेंज में आप जाएंगे तो नियर रेड तक, यहां तक ट्रांसमिशन है, मतलब सारी एनर्जी एब्जॉर्ब, कुछ भी एनर्जी नहीं हो रही है. 100% तक आप यहां देखोगे ट्रांसमिशन हो रहा है, लेकिन फिर डिप हो जाती है. इस वेवलेंथ पे ये थोड़ा डिप हो जाता है, देन फिर ट्रांसमिशन बढ़ जाता है और ऐसे ऐसे चलता रहता है. फिर इस रेंज में देखिए आप 1 माइक्रोमीटर से लेके 1 मिलीमीटर तक, अगेन देयर इज लॉट ऑफ एब्जॉर्प्शन, लिस्ट ट्रांसमिशन. देन माइक्रोवेव में आ जाइए आप 10 मिलीमीटर से लेके 1 मीटर की रेंज तक. आप ये देखिए, ये वाला पोर्शन जो वेवलेंथ का है, तो यहां पे ट्रांसमिशन कितना है आपका? एटमॉस्फेरिक ट्रांसमिशन 100%, मतलब जितनी एनर्जी ऑब्जेक्ट सोर्स छोड़ रहा है, सन या आपका जो इमिटर है, वो जो एनर्जी छोड़ रहा है, इमिट कर रहा है, वो सारी की सारी एनर्जी ऑब्जेक्ट तक पहुंच रही है. किसमें? कौन से बैंड में? माइक्रोवेव रेंज में. तो दिस इज रीजन कि माइक्रोवेव में एनर्जी यदि हम यूज करते हैं तो सारी एनर्जी ऑब्जेक्ट पे गिर रही है. ऑब्जेक्ट पर गिरने तक हमारा रिमोट सेंसिंग का एक पार्ट पूरा होता है, दूसरा पार्ट होता है रिफ्लेक्शन का. तो रिफ्लेक्शन जो एनर्जी है वो पूरी आई है, तो कम से कम अच्छी क्वांटिटी में रिफ्लेक्ट भी होगी. तो इनको एटमॉस्फेरिक विंडोज बोलते हैं. ये एटमॉस्फेरिक विंडोज कौन सी हुई? दिस इज एब्जॉर्प्शन विंडोज या ब्लैक विंडोज. दिस इज atmospheric window, wherein most of the light is being transmitted by the atmosphere onto the object, which ultimately would reflect back to